Are we live? It's been a crazy week. Let me know when we're up. 5 by 5, we have it. Got my hydration. It is Sunday night. We are live, SFMF live. Whew, and it's hot. Yes, I've been running around, finally able to do some chores. And I'll tell you why here in a minute, as soon as we get some accountability. Roll call, fall in. Like my producers are helping me last minute. Yes, I got ready last minute. Sometimes time gets away from you, and it certainly got away from me.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Had a little bit of a wardrobe malfunction. I did want to wear my Sergeant Jigs shirt, Sergeant Major Jigs shirt, but there was something on it. I don't know what it was. So yes, luckily I had an extra URAH shirt. Thank you. We're up on the time. We're up on the camera. It is Sunday night. It's really hot in here. Might just be me because I've been running around. Few hot topics tonight, and I'm going to ask my producer. I started to right before we started, but how long we've been on the air. We're closing out 2024 right now. Probably barbecue sauce, late cookie. Hot rod is here. It wasn't barbecue sauce. I did have some ribs today, as a matter of fact. A whole rack. But finally, because I finally got my appetite back, and spill the beans now. I got sick on Christmas Eve, right? Was it Christmas Eve? Yes, Christmas Eve went down hard. And I'm telling you, I never get sick. I get sick about once every 3 or 4 years. But we still did have, we had a nice Christmas. I was able to power through Christmas, and then I crashed hard for a good couple of days. I was out. I don't even know what today is. It is Sunday. And this morning I was finally able to get kind of back on track, still feeling a little woozy, but made it to church, started the day right. Even took a nap earlier today just to try and get fired up for tonight, because this is the last show of the year, right? What is today, Sunday? Yeah.
So we can do it on Wednesday. Wednesday's the 31st.
Wednesday's the 1st, right? When's New Year's? Wednesday, Tuesday, or Wednesday? All right. So, made it. I'm telling you, I get sick once every 5 years, and it happened to be this Christmas. Look at that. Thank you very much. Got some coffee. Yeah, now we're in action. We got my hydration. Yeah. Whew, we're up on the screen. Again, got the time. Yes. Man, look at, all right, a whole bunch of people here. Even some maybe get kicked in the stones from the flu once. So I'm telling you, and I don't like to admit that, especially to you, Lake Cookie, but I was down. I was down hard, like sleeping, couldn't get out of bed. And even at one point I was contemplating going to the ER. That's how I had the worst. It was just my head was about to explode. It was just body pain. That was one day. And then the next day, but my sinuses, I wasn't coughing, sneezing, nothing like that. It was just headache and body pain and heat. And then the very next day, that was all fine, but then it was stuffy. And man, I'm telling you, just all kinds of weird stuff. My body went through every stage of sickness over the last 5 days. So yes, I even had to take a couple of days off from the gym. So look out next week, because here I come. I got to get it back. Postpone our travel just a little bit. You see, we're still in SFMF studios. Then I even looked up, is it starve a fever, feed a cold? Because I had a fever one day, then a cold the next day. So I didn't know which to do. So I just kind of kept eating. It did mess with my appetite a little bit. I think a lot of it. And then finally today, I was able to destroy a whole rack of ribs this afternoon. So I'm back. I think I'm back. Now, again, I just got to hit the gym tomorrow. Couple of days off, not good. All right. So where are we at? Closing out the year. We got some awesome, and I haven't even looked at the comments yet, and I want to focus a little bit just on the solid supporters, those of you that come back week after week after week, even when we have some malfunctions, you still come back, you still support, you still contribute to the channel. This is amazing. It truly is amazing. And I'm going to try and get a list together, because as you pop up in the comments, and I was trying to hit a bunch of replies today, I couldn't even hit replies over the last 4 or 5 days because I was just out of it, and I was trying to hit it today and just reminiscing on, God, what solid supporters, the community that we've been trying to build this whole time. You are building it, and it's amazing. As I was replying to comments and reading and trying to keep up, there's a lot, and just if it wasn't for your support, the solid support and the mentorship from back and forth, I'm telling you, I think I learned probably way more than all of you on this channel. And that's all we're trying to do, trying to make it so others don't learn the hard way like some of us did. The whole concept, right? That's how we started this channel. That's what we wanted to accomplish, is making sure, finding a way, whole transition out of the Marine Corps. It's really what started it. How could we make it easier for everyone else behind us? And still, we're still trying to do that. And those of us who didn't have a great transition, I think that's, I'm not unusual. I think there's a lot of us like that realized it as we were doing it. And they said, hey, wait a minute, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be an easier way. Because we know the worst answer that you always hear, and even today in business today, currently people say, well, that's how we've always done it. Well, you've always done it wrong. Or just that it can improve. There's improvement needs to happen. Everything can improve. 1% better every day is what we talk about. And that's with time, change with time. Our technology changes. People change, technology changes. So you as a business, as an organization, as a unit, have to change with those times. And if you don't, you're stuck in it. Well, this is how we've done it for 30 years now. Again, you're behind the power curve because everyone around you is improving the process. So get with the program. Improve. Does change always need to happen? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's some truth to that also. But it doesn't have to be broke for you to want to improve it. Could be working well, good. Things could be going okay. No problems, but you can certainly improve. So keep that in the back of your mind. No, keep it in the front of your mind, because too many times that's where we get the word complacency. People get comfortable with, this is how we've always done it. This is how I've done it for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Time to change. All right. So, the recent, actually the only short I did this week was on that stolen valor. And that was right after I watched, what's the hero podcast? What's it called? Anti-hero podcast. I don't know all the guys' names. I think mostly Special Forces. I think there's one Navy SEAL, Green Berets, Delta guys, all badasses. And they were talking about, man, I can't even remember the guys, the whole point of the main character. What's his name? The main character of the Stolen Valor. Tim Kennedy. Yeah, that's what it is. So anyhow, there's been a few. There's been some Stolen Valor incidences. And in my little short, I even said, I've never come across one personally. And it's typically, someone who hasn't served, finds a uniform, goes to Saigon Sam's, somewhere, somehow. It became real popular, I think, probably after Desert Storm, because it was such a big deal. And veterans were getting treated very well after Desert Storm. And those who did not serve saw the benefits and the love people had for veterans, so they wanted a part of that. That's when it probably got big again, Stolen Valor. Again, civilians, non-service members who put on a uniform to reap the benefits. Financial, right? Handouts, paying for your meal, stand on a street corner collecting money, whatever. They saw an opportunity there, so they would put on a uniform and say, yes, I was in the Army. That's your typical, I think, stolen valor. Then there's some, I've seen the videos, sometimes I think it's someone with some mental issues who probably has a relative, a brother, a dad, someone in the service. They get their uniform, they want to be just like them, but they're not mentally stable. And they shouldn't be doing it either, but they need to be guided and coached, whatever. But the ones that most recently have been service members, active duty members, or that have retired or gotten out, actual service members that are claiming medals and ribbons and badges that they didn't actually earn. That's the hot topic right now. That's the Tim Kennedy. He's a stud. He's an MMA fighter. I think he's probably a badass 100%. But over time, he has embellished his stories, and the embellishment has turned into straight up lies. From what I know, just watching those anti-hero podcasts and a couple others, it's all over now. It's all over YouTube. So even and those are the biggest critics, is other special forces. So Tim Kennedy, I don't know, what was he, a Green Beret, a Delta, whatever he was. I think the immediate ones that are going to call him out or realize that, no, he didn't do half the things he said, are your fellow Green Berets or your fellow Delta guys, your special fellow Rangers, right? Marines, same way. It's for whatever reason, you don't hear about as many Marines doing it. Not sure why or if it ever is going to happen. Hope it doesn't, but we just had that one Marine Sergeant Major claim some Purple Heart and jump wings and some other stuff that he didn't rate. Immediately got found, held accountable, right? He was busted down to a sergeant and blasted all over. So I think that's all that these other special forces guys want, just for him to be held accountable. And it is a felony, but I've never heard of, again, all the videos you see, you're not a Marine, you're not a soldier. You see those videos, there's never a follow-up. Is there follow-ups? Do people actually get busted? What happens to those guys? So interesting. Interested to see what's going to happen at a follow-on, and there's a lot of videos on it. I don't have time to watch them all, but there's a lot currently right now with the Special Forces operators. And then I started digging back and looking at some of his prior to it, his being the main guy, the anti-hero podcast, the Valhalla. Again, don't quote me on any of them, but very interesting to see the dynamics, because as a Marine, and a lot of kids, I want to be a Navy SEAL when I grow up. I want to be a Green Beret, Delta Force, Ranger. As a non-special forces guy, and I tell the kids that, do you think I can be a Navy SEAL? And yes, you absolutely can. Anyone can. With the proper training, proper preparation. You go to the right schools. Anyone can train to be one of those guys, and they're all badasses. I 100% believe every one of them in all the special forces for all the branches of service. Yes. And that's their job, to be a badass. So good on them for having the mental toughness and physical fitness for doing it. Of all the stuff I've been watching and reading, one of the comments kind of laid it out, bam, because these guys are going back and forth. No Green Berets, no Navy SEALs, MARSOC, Marine Sniper, Marine Recon. Everyone's going back and forth, and this guy said, I'm a straight-leg soldier. He said, all I have to tell you is serve your country. And then people were commenting, you don't know special forces, you're not, it was just, that's it. Serve your country. If the time arises where you have to be that badass, just know that your training that you've prepared for all these years will succeed and you'll do well in the combat situation. So, because you can't tell me there's not some badasses that are truly 100% just animals, but never come across the time that they need to use those skills. That may happen also. So, yes, no need to embellish. All right. Let's see if anybody's talking about any of that. That's a hot topic right now. Can I turn up? Oh, you're waiting. Okay. So, here we go. My granddad was a warrior. Fought in Ireland, Falklands. That's a real man. Never spoke about it. Real man. YouTube soldiers are the best. So, and Nancy, that's another way to put it, is that someone else in one of the comments in all these is this dude really said, why are they talking about it at all? He said, and he was an old timer, so I think a Navy SEAL, I don't remember, but he was like, back in my day, right, one of those guys, we didn't talk about it with anyone outside of our team. And now, of course, with social media, everyone loves to share everything and talks about it, and it's blasted out there for the entire world to hear. That was, someone said, he's just making those stories up for more views. I think that was a comment on one of mine. That's why somebody, Tim Kennedy, does something like that for views. Excuse me, for more clicks. Yeah, 100%. That's clearly why half the stuff on YouTube is the way it is. But this other guy was saying, again, back in my day, we didn't talk about it. Those stories that they're telling on YouTube to the entire world is what we told in our little circle, our team, maybe to our squad, our platoon, our company. That's about as big as it goes, but it doesn't leave inside your house. That's what mess nights are for. Hurrah. That's where you talk about those specific battles and what a badass you were. And the story couldn't get too embellished because everyone you're talking to was in the same fight with you. That's what I think some of these guys are forgetting, that, yes, once you blast it on social media, someone in that same firefight you were in that saw everything you did, or most of it, and again, you get some adrenaline going, the heat of the battle, and there's some things that happen you don't remember specifically exactly what happened, and 5 Taliban could seem like 10, as are small differences. But when you're talking about, again, I don't know why it sticks in my head, he had a backpack with 20 or 40 hand grenades in it. I don't know if you could carry a backpack with 40 hand grenades and patrol streets and fight with it. Little things like that are no longer embellishing, now you're lying. So just interesting, the different thought process nowadays, right? And it's the attention thing. How much more attention did this guy Tim Kennedy need? He, again, a UFC fighter. Again, I'm sorry, I don't remember if he's a ranger or I don't know what his special force was. You remember? Green Beret, he's special forces. So he's, again, tough guy. But why? Why make all that stuff up? Volunteering to serve your country in any branch of service and then actually going to combat, or whether you go to combat or not, that is enough. You're badass enough. Less than 1% of our population does it. Be proud of that. That's all you got to go. And if you do deploy, multiple combat deployments, and you come back alive, all your limbs, be proud of that. No matter what kind of deployment you had, you signed the dotted line to give your life in the defense of our nation if it happens. But if you didn't, it didn't. God bless you. So just be proud of that. All right. Take a look. See, we got some hydration here. Good to see everyone. I haven't been looking. Got on that little soapbox because I'm telling you, I was watching up on that a little earlier. All right. Menachem's here. Nancy, well, because this generation isn't happy with, I missed the rest of that. Just say hello to everyone. Good evening. Randall Knapp's in the house. All right. Randall, good to see you. Sergeant Stacking, good to see you, brothers. You too, Sergeant Stacking, what's happening? Menachem, Joe R., hello from Houston, Texas. I got to go serve next year. My country, the rule where you have to serve at least, kind of scared and kind of hyped too. You can be a little nervous, be anxious. I can't see your screen name, but don't be scared. They're going to train you and prepare you for everything that you can, almost everything that you may encounter. Just be prepared. Mentally tough, physically fit. All right. Carrie Ann Potts is here. What's up, Carrie Ann Marie? Hope you have a great new year, as we wish you one as well. Canada's here. Dominguez. Man. All right. Okay. We're on the 5th night of Hanukkah. Hopefully, y'all get gifts you wanted. I did see the lighting of the first menorah in D.C. Did you happen to watch that? Pretty interesting. I just happened to watch it happen. They had a big, huge menorah outside the White House, and they had their senior most. I'm not even going to try to name the male and female of their particular unit, but it was great. It was great support by the White House and everyone that was there. But it is day 5 of Hanukkah. These days, social media is more about clout and views, so any exaggeration that gets views wins. I'm telling you, Jared, that's exactly what it is. And we're all, again, I'd like to say I don't do social media. Well, obviously, we do YouTube, but we don't do Facebook and Instagram, and very little, and nothing against it. X, right? And all those things are important. That's what I would tell the teenagers is, as long as you use it for the right purposes also. And everyone needs a little time away where you can just watch some funny videos. All in moderation. So if you use it right and use it in moderation, and what my producer always says, if you're not getting smarter, then watch something else. So as long as you use it for the right reasons, it's great. But too many other people are just doing it for views and clicks and laughs and likes and the measure of success for them. So they do exaggerate. They don't exaggerate. They straight up lie. And I think that's what's happening again with these warriors, right? Just their story alone, they don't think is good enough. It is, but someone's may seem a little bit better, so that's when they start embellishing. Then someone else one-ups them, then they start one-upping each other. All right, Gurney Grainer fainted this morning when I showed that I was still capable of doing 5 push-ups. I'd like to see it. If you didn't record it, it didn't happen. McJunkin, nice try. I want to see video evidence with the date stamp, so have them hold a newspaper and let's see it. That's how we know. Jared, you're not claiming grandiose things, Sergeant Major. There's a difference between the Hollywood ears and regular people. I hear you. Lay Cookie, low point in my life was getting weeks before desert and having to see you guys deploy after spending so much time with my brothers. Man, I'm telling you, Lay Cook, bro, right?
Randall Knapp just did a $5 super sticker.
Randall Knapp, thank you, brother. Super sticker. Yes, thank you. It had to be tough, Lay Cook. Menachem. Jared, David Bryant's here, John McJunkin. Yeah, but it's there. You can't see air, but it's there. Amen. Can't see it, but it's there. Just got a message from my recruiter, and he said that going to Cuba in a year. Yeah, it's awesome. What is your MOS visible? Going to Cuba in a year. Maybe that jail is going to be opened back up for some crooked politicians.
Maybe he's a combat engineer that
It is a hot spot for combat engineers. It's a great place to go. Never had the opportunity. I volunteered all the time to go to Cuba as an engineer. Engineers are still digging up the old minefields that separated the good guys from the bad guys. And it was like a check in the box to be a real combat engineer if you made it to Cuba. I never made it. Wanted to. Had a lot of buddies that did and said it was a great time. Menachem. Here's a little Hanukkah gift for you, Sergeant Major. All the blessings to you and the family. L'chaim. Menachem. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. That's it. Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. 41 years, still can't adjust to civilian life. I hear you. Heavy J, thanks for the content. Man, I miss it. What do you say? What was it right there? Heavy J, thank you, brother.
I've learned quite a bit when you ask in the short where you're born. What's the difference?
Did he answer it? Was he asking me what did it mean? The where were you born?
East Coast, West Coast?
Oh, yeah. It was the where were you born? East Coast or West Coast? Are you a Hollywood Marine or are you a Sam Flea Marine? Hills and mountains that you had to hike and climb and running on the beach and 100-pound rucksack runs up and down highest mountains in the world, or the flatlands of Paris Island? Which one? Excuse me, that's what that was about. Where were you born? East Coast, West Coast, that rivalry. Love it. Still there. It'll never go away. Excuse me. Never, ever go away. And remember, we had that. There was one Marine in history that had gone to both. Female started in San Diego. She got injured. They didn't have a rehab platoon for females in San Diego, so they sent her to Paris Island where she finished out her boot camp. But she was only in San Diego for like a week. DIs, on the other hand, drill instructors that have served both sides, they can attest to a little bit which one's tougher. Either way, like Chesty says, old breed, new breed, as long as it's the Marine breed. Hurrah. So East Coast, West Coast, Marines. All right. Same as me doing 5 push-ups. Again, I got to see it. We're junking. Hollywood. Look at all these Hollywood Marines. Tell us about the blood stripe on our trousers. What's the real truth, says Mark. The real truth of the blood stripe, that's the Battle of Chapultepec. Is there, I don't know what real truth you're talking about. I did a short on that, and there were some things that came out. And of course, we have to go with our history books and what we learned in boot camp. But the blood shed at the Battle of Chapultepec, that's where the blood stripe came from. Is that the truth that you're talking about? Or earning the blood stripe? Hurrah, as an NCO. An officer. Jared says, never been a PI. I mean, Princess Island. I'm a San Diego Marine. Did have the opportunity, obviously, to go see my our daughter graduate PI, and it is flat, it is hot. We didn't experience any sand fleas. I didn't anyway. Weren't there long enough. We weren't there as recruits where you had to stand still and not swat at them. But it is flat. I'll tell you that. Battle of Chipotle after a spicy meal. All right, it's okay.
Mark Allhead said, tell us the blood stripe. What's the real truth?
I'm a Navy vet, just curious. That was it. Mark, that's where it came from, the Battle of Chapultepec, because of the bloodshed by the Marines. And the one story that I did hear was, and it was in one of the comments that how we learned it in boot camp is the bloodshed that the Marines caused, right? That's how we earned the blood stripe. Someone said, wow, actually there's a lot of Marines that died during that battle as well. And that's why we earned it. History and what they taught us in boot camp, again, the bloodshed at the Battle of Chapultepec. And it's for NCOs and above. E3 and below do not rate the blood stripe until they reach Corporal E4. Jesse Puller on that, he said, and I quote, Marines don't run. Now, some would say he meant run away from the fight, but never needed the full quote. Right? That's for running. Oh yeah, nice try. Again, we got to see it. We got to see it, John. I want to see some video evidence of you running. PI, and I don't mean the Philippines. Okay, all right, we got some East Coast Marines here. I love the history, obviously, in Parris Island, and if I had the opportunity, I would love to have been a drill instructor over there just for the knowledge of it, see the differences. We had, halfway through my tour as a drill instructor in San Diego, our first sergeant came from Parris Island, where he had already done 2 tours. One as a drill instructor and a senior drill instructor, and I think as a DI school instructor. Then he got promoted to first sergeant and came to San Diego. So 3 tours on Parris Island, maybe 2 tours. Either way, he spent his life on Parris Island, then came to San Diego. So you got to imagine when he came to San Diego, he brought Parris Island with him. So the differences he saw was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing it like this. This is how you need to be doing it. But either way, there's not only differences in the 2 coasts, there's differences on MCRD San Diego between battalions, in between companies a little bit. So there are differences, and it's the drill instructors at the time, your chain of command at the time. That was another comment from the Stolen Valor short that I did. Someone, or the comments I was reading, someone put, it doesn't matter what uniform you're wearing, it doesn't matter what kind of training you've been through, it's the man inside. That's what type of soldier, Marine, Airman, that's the type of man you're going to be. Or Special Forces, that's what kind of Marine, that's what kind of Green Beret, that's what kind of Special Forces, whatever it is, you'll be. It's the man inside. So same with drill instructors and East Coast, West Coast. Again, that rivalry better not ever go away. But just know it's the men and women that are doing the training. Because again, in the 2 years I was down there, as our leadership changed, so did the era of the company changed. All right, David Bryan says, great uncle, father, myself, sister, and stepbrother all went to PI. Wow, some legacy there. That's awesome. Awesome. Retired but never left. So I learned the other day, the Marine Corps is older than America. Heavy J, right? 1775. Heartbreak Ridge is, yeah, it's a Demon Hunter. What's up, buddy? Heartbreak Ridge is a classic. Great movie. Good evening, Sergeant. Do you have any advice on young men considering the difference between enlisting or going to a service academy like West Point? Okay, great question. We do talk about it often on here. And first of all, that's a decision that you're going to have to make. But here's what we'll tell you is get as much information for people who have done both. My daughter, senior right now, has checked out almost every service academy. She's applied and received the NROTC scholarship to choose a college and applying for all the service academies. So she wants to be a Marine officer. Which one? And the oldest branch. Also the oldest branch, Service Academy. Oh, there she is, Annie Benani. Service Academy. So again, a decision that you're gonna have to make. And coming from a Marine family, sure, and we have 5 kids. One is a Marine already. Enlisted, went to boot camp, kicked butt, took names, still in. And now this number 4, Annie Benani, you see on there, she's applying to the service academies. all of them. We're desperately waiting to hear from the Naval Academy soon. Just waiting for that to happen. So back to the question. So here's a family of Marines. Two are enlisted, and one is wanting to go to a service academy to be a Marine officer. So here's where you get your knowledge from. Because as an enlisted Marine, no regrets whatsoever. Thought about becoming an officer maybe once or twice throughout my career. Never knew I was never going to. Just didn't want to. I enjoyed absolutely everything that I was doing as an enlisted Marine. Didn't want to ever leave that lifestyle. Loved it. No regrets whatsoever. Even thought about warrant officer for a minute or two. But I absolutely want my daughter to service academy all the way. Learning more and more about the service academies, I think it's also a great move. But you have to be the right individual. You have to have the right headspace and timing if that's something that you are going to be able to endure, right? With the right knowledge, mental toughness, physical fitness, and enough knowledge of both paths. Because a lot of enlisted Marines say, well, I'm going to enlist, I'm going to do things as an enlisted Marine and then transfer over later, which is also a great plan. Too many times, though, they love being an enlisted Marine, right? Once you get over the first couple of years of being the lowest man on the totem pole and you start leading Marines, you don't want to leave that life. So ones who don't know anything about either, it's really the luck of the draw. Did you make the right decision? And then they will train you. OCS will train you to be a great officer. Drill instructors will train you to become a good enlisted Marine. So my advice, college, absolutely 100%, but learn as much as you can about both paths, enlisted or officer, before you make that decision. And talk to both. In the officer community, talk to lieutenants, talk to colonels, and anyone in between. Same with the enlisted. Talk to the privates, talk to the master guns and sergeants major. Find out everything you can. And then kind of know what you want to do after the military. At your age, at her age, it doesn't seem like there is much time after the service, especially if you plan on doing a career, but there's plenty of time after the service. So be prepared. Why did you enlist? I've covered that a few times, but I needed direction. Wasn't terrible in high school. I wasn't great either. Played football, enjoyed it, loved. I didn't mind high school at all. Actually had fun with it, but I had no direction. Parents working, not a whole lot of emphasis placed on education. So I did what I had to do to graduate high school. Marine recruiter found me, saw that I had no direction, no anticipation or even desire to go to college. So he kind of opened my eyes up to, I need direction, I need a purpose. And I found it in the Marine Corps. So easy decision. I was easy for the recruiter. In fact, I was easy. He had to just convince my parents because I was still 17. And I wanted free food. But it is not for everyone. It absolutely is not 100% for everyone. I like to think that the recruiters kind of weed those out, right? And the ones that don't, they end up weeding themselves out in boot camp. It is not for everyone. That culture shock, that change of life is 100% not for 1%. 1% of the nation serves. So shows you the odds right there. It's not for everyone. Can anyone do it? Yes, I think anyone can graduate boot camp of all the branches of service. What they do after that and how they succeed is 100% on the individual. And sometimes it's just not for everyone. And that's definitely the case for a lot of people with the Marine Corps specifically. All right, Semper Gumby, man, bringing it back. Dixon, Yerma, that is, you have to be flexible. That's as funny as that is something that we grew up on. You have to be flexible. That's a real thing. It has to be something that you are going to deal with day in and day out, right? Hurry up and wait. That's flexibility. And that's what a lot of, they get that first term blues, and they make their decision up on the entire Marine Corps by their first duty station, because you do a lot of hurry up and wait, things that seem like they don't make sense. Everything that Marine Corps has you do makes sense. In boot camp, everything the drill instructors have you do makes sense. When you're sitting Indian style, cross-legged for hours and hours on end, you think it's just to torture you. It's not. You realize it once you get to second phase, where you're snapping in the snapping barrel in that sitting position. So there's training value behind absolutely everything you do 100% of the time. And once you realize that, it'll help you succeed, right? So yes, be flexible, hurry up and wait. Yes, Wing.
The other guy said, what's the funniest boot camp insult?
Funniest boot camp insult? Like what drill instructors say to recruits? I don't know. You see and hear some funny drill instructors come up with some crazy stuff. And as a drill instructor, I don't even know where some of that stuff comes from. It just comes out of nowhere. And as some, I can't repeat it on here. No, drill instructors don't curse, and we don't. Yes, some of that stuff may happen. Full Metal Jacket, watch that. There's some funny ones on there, and that's pretty accurate as well. What's up, Matthew? Good to see you, brother. John Winston said a true, I missed it, Lake Cookie. It makes me laugh. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's funny. Some of the stuff that he comes up with, and that's how it happens daily. Again, and as drill instructors, that's all part of it. You're testing bearing, right? Testing discipline. You want to know that they can hold their discipline. Stockton, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Saw it. Cadets waiting to ask questions. Let's go, John McJunkin. Bring it.
See the question?
No, it just said cadets are waiting to ask.
Stockton said, Sergeant Major, any tips on getting that 18-minute 3-mile PFT?
18-minute 3-mile PFT. So a perfect score still, right? It's still, anyone current right now? They haven't changed it yet. 18-minute 3-mile. Told them many times, I came close twice. As a recruit and as a drill instructor, 18:30 is my fastest time. Would never got that 300. Still pissed. And this is what people tell me, what I've heard over the years in any kind of training, and if we have some legitimate trainers on here, back me up on this. Sprints will help with your overall 3-mile time. So I always thought I just had to run 3 miles as fast as I could. So every time I ran to prepare for a PFT, I would make sure I went 3 miles and time myself. And it helped. It would improve. It would improve. I get on a treadmill, do 3 miles, get on a stair stepper 3 miles, and I would watch the time. And I love to run. Crazy, but I actually do absolutely love to run. Sprints. You're telling me. I think that's. Remember that the fartlek run? Is that where you jog the corners of a track? Sprint the straightaways, jog the corner, sprint the straightaway. The key, though, is you have to sprint as hard as you possibly can, and then even when you jog the corners, has to be very slow, so that sprint can be that much better. So sprints will help, and don't run anything less than 3 miles. So do some sprints and then run. Can I make my younger siblings dependents once I'm enlisted? I make my younger siblings my dependents. Oh, a dependent question. I think there's a way to do that if you are actually, if they,
If he's their legal guardian.
yeah, if you are their legal guardian. So yes, 100%.
100%?
No, not 100%. Don't quote me on that. But if you are their legal guardian, and I think that'd be the first step, then you can make them your dependent. 5-mile run, 300 Navy SEALs. Get it, JP. Run after doing weighted squats, all right? I have a candidate, PFT, coming up, 5 weeks to get 1845 PFT. Between 18 and 1845. Yeah, get after it, Stockton, I'm telling you. Hit the road, hit the pavement, for sure. I did prepare one time for a marathon, and don't listen to any of my training advice for a marathon. I usually just run it. But I trained for 2 weeks on a treadmill prior to a marathon. And that's what I do. I'd run 3 miles as fast as I could on a treadmill, though. But I did, my time got shorter and shorter each time I did it. So you got to hit the pavement. Winstead, drinking some hot cup of joe. All right. 32-mile tap or mountain in 7.5 hours. That's amazing. Marathons, a good time for marathons, 4.5, 5 hours. Great time. Goggins, free. Checking in, Ray, 1775 Marine Corps. What's up, brother? Good to see you. All right. Annie Benani sharing her. I got 5 of my teachers to be recommendations. Use that for motivation. There you go. Oh yeah, she's on it.
She wrote, I told my teacher I'm doing the Marine Corps and he laughed at me.
Who said that?
Annie, did you miss it?
Yes. Because you don't like when I look at the comments. Yes, put that back up there, Benani. Let's talk about that. It again, is the service for everyone? No. And how do those of you in high school, what is the perception of the Marine Corps? How about that? Right? Especially schools that don't have a jrtc, or even ones that do. What is the perception of jrtc? And working in jrtc, a lot of parents and teachers think, no, he's not going to do jrtc. I don't want him to join the Marine Corps. It's not the purpose of jrtc. It's to just build leadership, responsible young men and women. Awesome program. No matter what branch is running it, I think it should be mandatory. Some kids desperately need a little bit of discipline in their life. But what is the perception at the schools or your community? What is the correct way to try out for the silent drill team, even though I have a career already picked out for my time in the Marine Corps? Poolee Reese, the Marine Corps is going to dictate your time in the Marine Corps, but good on you. 03, you have to be infantry. And if you ask about it, and if it happens, if you're eligible and have the qualities, they're going to select you. Hold on, let's see. Annie Benez told my teacher, who was in the Navy, that I'm joining the Marine Corps, and he laughed at me. Well, yeah, because he's Navy. He didn't have what it takes to be a Marine. That's interesting. It's pretty sad that for whatever reason. So he probably did a few years, he or she did a few years. It wasn't a life choice for them. They got out, now they're teaching. But to laugh, why did he laugh though? That didn't think you could, didn't think you had what it takes. He was embarrassed because you were showing him up. I don't know. Give us more, Benani. As a teacher, you got to believe that you obviously want the best for your students. He said, I hope you like getting yelled at. Then he called me, what? Dang it, it went so fast.
Calls for jarhead now.
Oh, and calls her jarhead. Oh, so it's a compliment. Yeah. You need to tell him, thank you, sailor. Call him shipmate. That's nothing wrong with that. Your Navy teachers spend a lot of time in the barrel. Hot rod, got to head out. See you, brother. So he wasn't back then. He'd been nice. He wasn't being disrespectful, was he? If he was, that's I would obviously tell you to take it up your chain of command. And being called a jarhead, even before you earn that title, is a compliment. So good on him. But ask him about his time in the Navy. Ask him if he ever served with the Marines. Ask him what he did in the Navy. And I'm guessing he didn't serve. And everyone knows our medical is Navy. So Marines only medical, and our religious people are both from the Navy. So we do serve together. And yes, the Marine Corps is a department of the Navy. So I wonder if your teacher ever served with Marines. Call it the green side, if he ever served on the green side. Mark did 21 years in the Navy. Shipmate, let's hear it. So I Major, who gets chosen for Marine Guard embassy duty? Embassy duty you do put in for. Again, 03s, excuse me, have to be 0300 field, and then you put in for it. Security guard, you have to put in for it, get selected for school, and then pass school. Tough. It's a tough, one of the tougher schools as well. But you can. 03, success, no trouble. Dependents, you are limited by the number of dependents dependent on your rank. And don't quote me on the actual numbers, but I think as a corporal, you could have 1 dependent. Sergeant, maybe 2 dependents. Staff NCO, you can have 3 dependents. Whatever it is, it's tied to your rank. So know that before you start gaining dependents. Navy, never again volunteer yourself. Marine Corps is the only branch where your PFT actually worth something. Yeah, I think so. PFT and CFT. I think the addition of the CFT really put us above. Embassy guards go through one hell of a background check, I bet. Right? FBI, talking full FBI check. Thank you for serving. My pops also did 20 years in our United States Navy. Yes, father-in-law, senior chief, United States Navy. 100%. How about the guys that serve for the president? What are the requirements? Same thing. They're 0311s that get stationed at 8th and I, part of the silent drill platoon, or on embassy duty. How they get selected for their duty, that's in school. I think it's just like every other Marine school. You graduate the top 3, you get to choose your first duty station, embassy duty. That's how most of the schools work. And don't quote me on any of this, but I think if you graduate number 1 at a Marine Security Guard school, you get to choose your first duty station, because they say you do a hardship duty and a prime duty. So graduating the top, you get to select where you get to go. So just like anywhere else you go, any school that you do, you want to graduate at the very, very top. So you have that option, right? Out of MOS school, that's how it was for us. Even combat engineer school, you graduate in the top 3%, you got to choose your first duty station. So treat it that way. So, can you give me the real information about what FAST company is and how to be one of them? So I can't, because I wasn't a FAST company Marine either, but I think it has changed over the years as well. But they're high speed, recon part of it. Remember, our scout snipers are gone, but to be a part of a FAST platoon, I know the ones that were in Hawaii. Again, 03, you get selected from there. So all these special forces, special operations that people want to do in the Marine Corps, 03s. There are MARSOC Marines that aren't 03s, but those are when they need those specific MOSs. So all great questions. You got some motivators over there, McJunkin. Matthew Askren says, Sergeant Major McKenna served with those guards that protect the president at HMX 1. Yes. He was, they fell under him when he was still active duty. Just heard from old Paul McKenna the other day. Every Christmas, no matter what, he sends me a Merry Christmas, brother text. And that's it. Awesome. Awesome Marine. But yes, that's HMX 1. And he, was that when he was Northcom? Is that, that's the billet that when he was in charge of those guys? David Bryan says, graduated #1 MP school. I selected USDB Fort Leavenworth. Oh, really? I don't know USDB. Help me. Somebody help me. There's JTB. Hurrah. Semper Fi, brother. 1046 Bravo Company 1371. Backbone of the Corps. Hurrah. Yes, I believe he was. Oh, when he was a gunny. Okay, so he was a beast, man. He was all over the place. He did a lot. JM. My father was a U.S. Marine. Troop was 39. Old school. Oh, no, 39. Yeah, he was part of 39. United States Disciplinary Barracks. I never even heard of that, David Bryant, for real. USDP, or DB. That's cool. Rock Hard Cafe. I don't know if I would, the Republic of Korea Hard Rock Cafe. I haven't. I don't think I have. Wow. JM, that's awesome. We got a lot of good parents, volunteers, teachers, coaches, and mentors, which is why these youngsters are doing great. Good to hear, John McJunkin, for real. That's awesome. You do always have a motivated group. We're just watching it. We're behind the curve, and don't judge us, but we're just catching up on the whole Cobra Kai series right now. And it's, I'm telling you, because I was down hard. I was sick for a couple of days, so I had nothing else to do. We started watching the series. First, we watched Karate Kid first, right, just to
Sucker me in.
yeah, get back into it. Carl, good to see you. So we watched, come on, who doesn't love the first Karate Kid movie? A little corny, now watching it decades later. Still sucked you in, right? The swan, everything, it was great. And then we started watching, I didn't know Cobra Kai, I thought it was just a movie, like an hour and a half, 2-hour movie, but it's a series. And we got suckered in that first season and watched the entire season. Very cheesy, very poor acting. What we've come to realize is all the actors were probably karate kids first, right? They have some karate skills, and then they try to make them actors, not the other way around, because their acting isn't great. Even the storyline's pretty cheesy, pretty predictable, but it's funny. And there's some messaging there. There's some life messages when the old sensei comes back. And I paused this, I rewinded it, got my wife so she could hear it again. The old sensei, right? No mercy. That guy that, the cheap shot and no mercy, no mercy. Although that was bad, right? He shouldn't have done that. Spoiler. Yeah, and if you haven't seen it, you're even further behind the power curve than we are. And we've only watched one season, started season 2. But he tells a speech of why he was so hard on the Cobra Kai squad. And the reason he came back 40 years later, they're all old and Botox and everything. But the reason he came back, because he saw today's society, today's youth is soft and weak and aren't used to situations like that and getting punched in the face. That hasn't stopped happening, which is overall weakening our entire country. So that's why he came back out of hibernation. And he talked about a snake. I didn't know this about snakes. They hibernate in the summer though. Wait till it's cold. I don't remember the story. It's similar to hibernation, and they just wait. The thing about it though is the whole time they're hibernating, they're not sleeping, they're awake. waiting for the right moment to come out and strike. That's what we're missing. That's what today's youth is missing. I'm telling you, that one speech alone, again, it's still cheesy and acting like B-roll, but there's messages in there, and I don't know how it's going to end. I can kind of imagine it has definitely got our attention, and I think today's society needs something like that. Just a guy to slap you in the face.
Did you see what the cookie wrote?
No, what did he say?
He says, Sergeant Major, what trait was developed in the Marine Corps has best served you in your life? Never give up has worked for me.
What trait has served me well in the Marine Corps? Lay Cookie says his was never give up. Yeah. And did I do a short on perseverance? I think I did. And never quit or give up. And that's the only thing I remember from the senior drill instructor speech when I was a recruit. Because remember, scared to death. But I remember him saying that for some reason. Then years later, when I was a drill instructor, I emphasized that part as much as I could. Never quit or give up. Because there's certainly many times in boot camp where you wanted to, I wanted to. And I felt that way numerous times. And once I come to realize I wasn't the only one, because times like that, you feel like you're the only one. Then you look around, you start talking to people and realize, nope, there's just as many, if not more people feel the same way I do. Then again, it came out in Desert Storm. Now I'm in a combat situation, no communication, not knowing what the hell we got ourselves into again. Same thought process. We got to persevere through this. We feel probably 100,000 sandbags, not even an exaggeration. Times like that, not knowing what tomorrow looks like if I make it to tomorrow. So never quit or give up. The perseverance, and that's what made me think of it the other day in the gym, that you are gonna come across times where you don't think you're gonna make it through it. You just got to keep going, and that's all part of boot camp. That's what they drill into your head. We've done some things in boot camp that you would never do on your own, nor did you think you could possibly do it, and you do. And it's pretty amazing as a drill instructor too to watch these kids that you know they think they can't do it. And the biggest one, like the swim qual, the rappel towers, slide for life, all those, they seem simple now, but those are huge challenges for kids. Drilling, right? Qualifying on the rifle range, things like that are tasks that you think you may not be able to do. Just survive in boot camp for 3 months, right? And the daily mental thrashing you receive. Can you really do it for 3 months? And that's, I think you said it best, never give up. No matter how bad it gets. Never quit or give up, ever. Right there, John Winstead, because the Marine Corps will not give up on you. Again, part of the drill instructor speech, we will not. We'll do our very best to make you a United States Marine as long as you don't quit on yourself. Never quit or give up. We'll do everything in our power. Yeah. But they won't. And today's society, it seems like quitting it has become acceptable. It's like it's an option. You're going to continue with football practice until the season's over. Oh, it's hard on you, Johnny. Well, you know what? You don't have to finish the season. It's hot. The coach is mean. The coach doesn't like me. The helmet hurts my head. I don't want to be in football anymore. Okay, well, yes, you finished this year, finish what you started. If you don't want to do it next year, that's your decision. But you don't quit. In today's society, I'm telling you, I see it far too often. I don't want to do this. I don't want to finish it. I like when it's always, well, he doesn't like me. She doesn't like me. No way. You suck it up and finish what you started. All right, Andy Binet says, Sergeant Major, have you ever seen anyone in boot camp with a perfect PFT? Yes. Yes, there are. As a recruit and as a drill instructor, so they are perfect PFTs. Not a whole lot, more obviously out in the Fleet Marine Force. There's always a good handful of Marines that perfect PFT every single time. But there are. So can you go to boot camp? Can you go to OCS with the perfect PFT, right? And just improve it? Yes, I had a buddy who ran like a 15-minute 3-mile. It was crazy. And he partied a lot, 15 something. Every time he'd run a 15-minute 3-mile. And pull-ups and the crunch is easy. Now, even with the planks, honestly, I think the planks are easier than the crunches. So, yes. Were they treated any worse or better? Everyone gets equally thrashed in boot camp. So just because you're a high PFTer, if you're the company high PFT at the end, you'll get a high five and maybe a little plaque or something. But Ray from Queens, come on, buddy. Man, look at you. Semper Fi, my friend. Thank you. Awesome. You're the man. You're the man. Thank you very much. Run a perfect PFT for you right now. So great question. Were they treated any better, any worse? No, I did a short on my story. The time I got, it was when we were doing crunches, right? I was a recruit. Boom, knocked out 100 crunches is what it was back then. Pretty excited, right? I got up, my drill instructor said, how many did you do? So just recruit did 100, sir. Went to high five me. I went to high five him. He punched me in the stomach. He said, you don't high five the senior drill instructor. You did 100 crunches. That's what you're supposed to do. Get away from me. So no special treatment for doing what you should be doing. All right. Poolee Eckles asked, there's a recruiter sending me in for supply, which is not what I was hoping for, but I'm qualified for. I want to try going your route to make it to Sergeant Major. Well, you can as a supply Marine. Excuse me. But I tell you, if you don't want to do supply, you need to talk to your recruiter. Supply is probably in high demand right now. It's for the Marine Corps, so the Marine Corps needs supply. That's why he's got you going in as a supply clerk, sending me in for a supply. It's not what I was hoping for, but I'm qualified for. So I don't know how much time you're looking at. You would probably need to take your ASVAB and get a higher ASVAB score if you want something other than supply. At the same time, I would tell you, bloom where you're planted, right? If you be the best supply warehouseman in the entire Marine Corps, and then start doing other duties, go on special duty, be billets, do the very best you can as a supply NCO, get promoted, become a drill instructor, recruiter, continue, and then start looking at lat moves if you don't like that field. But join the Marine Corps to be a Marine. So hone all your other skills while you are a supply Marine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And still, take some college, improve your ASVAB score in case there is an opportunity for you to do a lat move later if you want to do something else. Supply has great hours. Look at David Bryant. You get all the cool stuff when it comes in. You get first dibs on the new rucksack once they come in. Anybody, Sergeant Major, any New Year's resolutions? Yes, and I appreciate you asking that because this is the last show before the new year, right? So maybe we'll see. And I have the same one, just like everyone else. I'm one of the, I'm going to work out more. But I do. I re-put that on my list every time. And I think I'm pretty good about it. But even more importantly, I'm going to change it up this year, and it's going to be eat right. I got to eat right. I got to eat cleaner. I know the devil, right, is sugar. Carbs, I need carbs because I work out, so I need some carbs, but I can limit them a little more. But I'm trying to get away from sugar. I don't use sugar in my coffee anymore, but the creamer I use is the foofy, right? So I'm gonna try and get away from. I'm trying to move to sugar-free creamer. So little things like that, I'm gonna be just more aware of. I don't eat candy all the time. On Halloween, when the kids have it in the house, I'll eat some. Not enough to where I'm addicted to it, but I would love some food with sugar in it every now and then. And you don't realize how much sugar is in 90% of the stuff we eat. So I'm going to eat cleaner. No diet, just eat cleaner. And as long as I continue to work out, I'll still be able to eat a whole rack of ribs like I did earlier today at Rev. Appreciate that. Ray, quit smoking. Go for it, brother. You got it. We got you back. We'll keep you accountable. Okay, write it down. Ray from Queens, quitting smoking January 1st. We got you, brother. You can do this. Do it. Please do it. My mom smoked for like 60 years. It's affecting her now. Bad. You can do it. All right, what's up, Joe? Stevia has no sugar. Stevia good for you? That doesn't cause cancer in laboratory rats. Is stevia good? I'll try it. App is simply called Bible, and it says Holy Bible on the front. It has a version, and it's very useful. Yes, the same Bible app that we all use, Banani. Man, I'm drinking coffee black. Man, I try every now and then. Lay Cookie, always call me out. I try every now and then. I do.
He doesn't like.
I still like it foofy. I'm gonna try. I will. Maybe if I have some flavored coffee. Even I try flavored coffee. Lay Cookie, what a punk. America's food is going to get clean here real soon. What's she right? His coffee is light brown, almost white. Whatever. I'll tell Lay Cookie that. David Bryant, there it is, 10 November 2025, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Ton Tavern. All right. Winstead, summer, it's almost light out for me. 03 comes fast. Thank you for the words of wisdom, and Happy New Year to you and yours. And good night, Chesty, wherever you may be. Stanford 5, John, appreciate you, brother. Thanks for hanging out with us. Get some rest. Happy New Year, brother. Happy New Year. Be aggressive, but be safe. All right. I'm bad in mochas. Don't need it. Espresso straight up. And I think when I actually do like the taste of coffee with the fufu juice in it. And I think I like to drink more than just a cup of espresso. Excuse me. Carrie Ann Marie says, Miss Cece, gonna ban coffee, more water. So I probably should drink more water. That should be part of my New Year's resolution as well. I don't drink enough water. Yes, more water. All right. Cadet Waller asks, this has been my first year in jrtc as a freshman, but there's just so much in our booklet to remember, especially general orders and ranks. There's a lot. General orders, there's 11 of them. Make flashcards. I told the crowd before, my daughter, before she went to boot camp, she wrote them on her ceiling. Every night before she went to bed, she memorized them. Easy. Leadership traits and principles and the ranks. Even with the rank insignia, draw them and write. E2, one stripe. E3, one stripe cross rifles. So flashcards is 100% the best way to memorize them. I mean, carry on. Don't you have to do it all the time? And then test yourself. Give the flashcards to someone else. Have E3 on one side and a picture of the rank on the other side. Same with the general orders. On one side for your flashcards, put to repeat. All right, to repeat all calls from the post more distance to the guardhouse in my own. Have the rest of it on the backside. To report, to repeat, to be, right? All the 11 leadership or general orders. So there is a lot, but get after it. How bad do you want it, right? That's a promotion requirement, right? It's a written test. So keep studying. Mike Smith, good evening to you, brother. Covering fire. Got it, Carl. I know you're always on it. Water, espresso, and herbal tea. Yes. Mike Smith, how you been? Uh, the difference between the perfect PFT. Someone asked earlier, or was it? I think it was Annie Benani. Are there recruits that do that go to boot camp already doing a perfect PFT? There are, and in San Diego, I don't remember what the pull-up record was, but it was like in the 75 or 80, something like that. And there's a plaque up there for the kid who did it. He didn't even get a 300 PFT. At the time, he couldn't do crunches, but he did, like, I'm telling you, it was like 70 or 80. I don't know, maybe it was in the hundreds. I don't remember how many pull-ups he did, but it was a crazy number. That's when you could kip also. So different now that it's dead arm hang pull-ups. But he did a crazy amount, but didn't get a 300 PFT. Point is, you have to be well-rounded. That's the design of the PFT. Planks now, pull-ups in the run. And then the CFT balances everything out. I'm telling you, it was an insane number. I don't remember what it was. Crazy says, can I become an officer at 32 years old? Waiver for everything. Talk to the OSO, the Officer Selection Officer. Get with your recruiter and ask who that Marine is and get with that Marine officer. And again, if you meet all the qualifications, everything else, request a waiver. Yes, you can. Paul, if you had a son, would you recommend joining the military? 100%. Absolutely. Some countries do that where every single teenager from 18 to 20 must serve 2 years. I don't think that's such a bad idea. South Korea, I don't think that's a bad idea at all. 2 years. Right? Some will latch onto it. Some will. We're missing some golden opportunities of awesome military members because we don't make them go. At jrtc as well, I think every student should participate in jrtc 1, if not 2 years of their high school career.
Okay, time check at 7:20. Do you want to go for, are you good to go till 8?
I think so. What does my t-shirt stand for? URAH. All right, you must be new to the channel. Like and subscribe. URAH. That's our motivational cry. URAH. Marine Corps is URAH, but I pronounce it URAH. Doc Holiday. Semper Fi, brother. Good to see you. Thank you very much. Semper Fi to you and your entire family. URAH.
Semper Fi, my family.
That's what it stands for. Whoever just asked what is URAH, that's right there. It means everything. URAH. Which branch would you want him to join? Come on, Paul, is that a trick question? Maybe it's not. But friends don't let friends join the Army. So I'd have to, just kidding, Army. 100% Marine Corps. When my first daughter was talking about joining the services, I even threw it out to her. Have you thought about the Air Force? Out of the thinking safety for my daughter is going to be amongst a bunch of Marines. But deep down inside, I don't want them to have any regrets later on. So 100% her choice, and she chose Marine. And my Annie Benani now, same thing. She's 100% her choice to be a Marine officer. So if they were in, and neither one of them asked me what branch should I join, I think they probably know the answer, but 100% Marine. Yeah, no doubt. What's your story, Paul? Fill us in. Guns. If I was to switch, I'm going to go be a Coastie. Adam East, guns. Really? Would you be a Coast Guardsman? They do work. Paul says, how long did you serve? What is one of your best memories? I've been serving since, oh man, many decades. One of my best memories. I don't have just one specific best memory, and I've told a few stories over the time we've been on air over the years. and there's a lot. I have a lot of, again, camaraderie stories, some awesome operations, some combat operations, some Marine Corps birthday ball celebrations, right? Some homecomings, foreign countries that I never thought I'd be able to go to, some humanitarian relief opportunities, school opportunities, rewarding jobs like being a drill instructor, right? Turning these nasty civilians 3 months later into United States Marines. So there's a lot. I appreciate you asking. I don't know if I can nail it down to just one. Making a home for every one of my kids' births, right? That's pretty amazing. There's a lot. There certainly is a lot. No regrets, man. There's nothing but positive. All right. Even got some from Poland. It's a great question. I don't know if I had to, maybe my top 5. I'd have to sit down and actually think about it. I remember coming back from Desert Storm, right? As long ago as that was. And they told us we were gone 9.5 months. Right? And this was before technology, so we weren't constantly talking back and forth. We weren't emailing home. Mail was extremely slow. But coming back, we're on the airplane. We stopped in like Germany or somewhere and had a beer at the airport. They opened it up in the middle of the night for us, and we had a beer for the first time in like 10 months. And then we were flying into Bangor, Maine. Again, at 0 dark 30 in the morning. They're like, there's going to be some people there to welcome you home. We're kind of one of the last ones to leave. So they're like, the fanfare is not what it was when the first units started coming back. But there's going to be some people there. Maybe a high school band, even at midnight or whatever time it was. And we land in this tiny airport in Bangor, Maine, and there was thousands and thousands of people there. 3 high school bands, old veterans, Vietnam veterans, World War II veterans, their hats, and giving us American flags and beer and food and just gifts, and had a whole concession line. People were crying. It was truly amazing. That was in Maine. We weren't even home yet. That was pretty awesome. And then we flew into March Air Force Base, where we came from, was just as big. And I was like, I don't know, 8 or 10 in the morning. People lined the freeway. We had to do like 10 miles an hour down the freeway. There were so many people welcoming us home. That was a pretty significant process coming back. All right. Which is your favorite branch to work with and why? That's a good question. Paul. Obviously, we work a lot with the Navy because the Navy corpsmen and the chaplains. And I've been on ship quite a bit, so working with those guys. We don't do a whole lot of inner service working with the Navy, except they load us on the helicopters, load us on the Mike boats, whatever we happen to be getting on and off of. They take care of us while we're on the ships. Work with the Army quite a bit in Iraq and Afghanistan. No real issues. Worked with a tank company one time. We took over for a tank company in Iraq. Different because we were O3s and they were a tank company. So the FOB was set up for tanks, and we came in with some Humvees. So that was odd. Of course, we blamed everything on them. They didn't have good security. They didn't have good perimeter. They didn't have good posts because they didn't need any of that because they were in tanks. Air Force, haven't done a whole lot with the Air Force except for that. When I went to the Air Force NCO Academy, that was cool. So I guess I probably work most with the Navy, but no preference. Either way, work with any one of them. Joint operations, joint training like Cobra Gold and stuff like that, where you work with all services. Again, we still have, no matter what, we still have the rivalries, right? And again, hopefully that stays alive forever, but no real issues. that I can think of. But good question. Yeah, work with the ROK Marines, Republic of Korea Marines. Those are some bad A's. Mike Smith, 75 to 79, 4421, 4422, legal services. If you screwed up, chances are good that your name came across my desk. That's what our middle daughter is, Sergeant Cece. She was a 21. Yeah, 4421, legal services was. Now she just re-enlisted. Did she re-enlist yet? I think so too. 0341, Mortimer. David Bryant, stop drinking your calories. I've heard that before. Man, I gotta start drinking my coffee black. All right. Water and tea, Danny Vincent. I don't know if I need some caffeine. There's caffeine in tea? Maybe I should drink tea. Push water, no sugar, cut carbs, protein, walk or ruck. There it is. That's a great training New Year's resolution right there, Rick. Get it. Same. I'm telling you, that's perfect. I was 7 in 1979. Jared, you're such a liar. You're way older than that. McJunkin, young Marine Pascal asks, sir, did you ever get to work with the U.S. Coast Guard? And, we did one, not a whole lot, no. In Afghanistan, we did have we lost a Marine in a canal. I'll briefly tell the story, but he got swept away along with a couple Afghans, and we immediately stopped all operations and searched for this Marine. Everything stopped. Other units came to help us. That was a joint forces rescue mission that was truly amazing to see. All that rivalry BS and Army sucks, Navy rules, and all that crap just completely went out the window. It was certainly one team, one fight. And this Coast Guard crew came in for wherever they were, whatever they're doing. And no holds barred, anything and everything we needed, completely assisted in the group effort. It would, again, part of the team. We ended up finding the Marine. But so no real operations with Coast Guard besides that. And that was, again, everyone, Air Force, everyone was there. Everyone did. And the communication worked out well. I'm telling you, it's a joint operation. I wish it was training and not real life, but everything came together exactly like you would have wanted it to come together. So no other training with the Coast Guard really besides that. Jared says, Coast Guard's a real deal. They really do not get the respect they deserve. And their boot camp is tough, like Marine Corps boot camp. Second toughest boot camp. Paul, favorite handgun? You want to know about my guns? Which one? This one or this one? I like the 9mm. I'm not a big gun guy, right? That I know a lot of Marines are, a lot of service members are. They get all these crazy guns when they get out and throw the stuff all over it. I'm not. I fell in love with the 9mm Beretta as a Marine because that's what I used. Changed to the 45. I like the 45. I like the 9mm a little better. But now today, after I retired, I have both, a 9mm and a 45. I like the look of the feel of the 45 better, but I like the smoothness of the 9mm. 6 hours, a couple 22s, but I like good old-fashioned 9mm Beretta. 1911, very popular pistol. Ain't much difference between Marines, Army. Yes, huge difference, Danny. Right sidearm, left sidearm. That's right, Mike. AST, not asthma. That's right, I have that too. Yep, hunted a couple times. We're just training Marines on when I got out. MLRS. I don't even remember what that is now. Troy, yes. You ain't a tractor, you ain't. M19 357 Magnum, Ray. That's what I'm talking about. I've fired one time. Fell in love with it. And it is all that you see in the movies. That 357 Magnum was awesome. I do eventually would love to get one. 45 long and short. Oh, I don't know if there's a long and short 45. As long as pistol hold. I don't know. Excuse me. Oh, for the PFT. So 3 miles for Marines, 2 miles for the Army, and just pull-ups in Marines. I think Army does push-ups, right? Poolee Cass asks, as a female enlisting into the Marine Corps, do you or Sergeant Cece have any advice or tips for me? I don't want to fail and dishonor my parents. Well, that's a good feeling to go in with, that, right? That'll push you over the edge when you do come across those times where you think you're going to fail. So, and just male Marine or female Marine, our two biggest tips are mental toughness and physical fitness. So hopefully you've been on the channel for a while. You've been hanging out with the Guns and John McJunkin long enough to know, one, you can do it. You're going to graduate as long as you go in with that mindset. Is it going to be chaos the first week? 100%. You're going to get yelled at and screamed at. Anything you do is not going to be fast enough or loud enough or anywhere near correct. You just can't quit or give up, right? They are going to train you to be a basically trained Marine. They're going to do, the drill instructors are very good at their job. So keep that mindset that you're not leaving boot camp until you are a United States Marine. So tips, I wish Sergeant Cece was on here and she can give you some female insight to female boot camp. She's actually on the road right now. So hang out with us and let us know when you ship. Definitely keep us posted on that, and we'll get Sergeant Cece back on here and give you some tips and pointers.
I think the best tip and point is to stay off social media and don't try and self-promote.
Stay off social media. Don't try to self-promote.
And don't be the barracks bunny.
Yeah, definitely some huge tips after you get out of boot camp. She's asking for tips in boot camp, right? So yes, and then definitely tips once you graduate boot camp, because now you're going to leave boot camp where it's all female Marines. Now you're going to go into a male dominant workspace. So that's when things could change. Yes, stay off social media, and you're going to be either one or two types of Marines. And which one is, Poolee Cash will be leaving in May. So you still got some time. Cash, you have some time. So physical fitness, mental toughness, get through boot camp, start looking at beyond boot camp. That's where I'd like you to, and you speak to female Marines. Excuse me. Speak to female Marines, have some questions, write them down. Next time we'll get Sergeant Cece on here and tell you what her experience was through boot camp, through school, and into the Fleet Marine Force. Because there is, you're in a male dominant organization. So getting the benefit of the doubt, and she's in it, Sergeant Cece, the infantry unit. She's a black belt McMap instructor, right? She's a beast. But there's ways to do it, and there's a right way and wrong way, and you see it all the time in the Marine Corps. So write down some questions. Here's my tip: be 100% professional 100% of the time. All those things we tell the male Marines: volunteer, get on as many schools as you can, do as much as you can when you can. Start looking at the next promotion. The same applies for all Marines. Be that go-to Marine. All right. Do you earn a decent wage while you're in the military? Asks Zach. Yes, one, you could look it up. All branches of service make the same exact pay. You make more when you go to combat. You have danger pay, combat pay, things like that. There are times, our bonus this year, right, was 14% for E4 and below. 4.5% for everyone else. So you get a pay raise every year. The best part of military pay is retirement. So those of you that are in now, stay to 20 minimum, earn your retirement. Military retirement is phenomenal. Definitely something to work towards. And if you only do 20 years, you'll be 38, 39 years old when you retire. You can retire. It's still way too young to retire, so you get another career and start that all over again. Get 2 retirements later on. So the military retirement is where the money's at. All right. You don't earn a decent wage until you hit E4. Again, it's your idea of a decent wage. Can you live off, if you do it right, as an E1 through E3, you live in the barracks, eat at the chow hall. Don't spend your money on frivolous stuff. Don't go out and buy all them tattoos and the jewelry and a car that you don't need. So yes, start savings right away. You can definitely do it if you do it right. It's great. Gunny Grainer says that the Marine Corps League will help her too by locating female Marine personnel at the local reserve unit here for her to talk to. 100%. I'm telling you, get with Marine officers, female officers, female NCOs, staff NCOs, as many female Marines. If she can find a drill instructor, that'd be even greater. Just to get all different aspects of being a Marine and then being a female Marine in a male-dominant organization. For the E4 and below, just reading some comments. So all great questions, great questions. We headed out. It started with started tonight with the stolen valor. Again, that's still bothering me. I don't want to get in that web of watching, because there's so much and there's so many, a lot of special forces guys. There's podcasts that are 3 and 4 hours long. I don't want to get, again, into that web, and part of it pisses me off. That why would people do that? And just what happened? When did we turn that corner where it's, and why are people telling their story? I think you can see right through. Some of us can see through to the genuine ones that want to share their story, and ones that are doing it for the likes and views. So it's up for you to decide. The problem is they're gaining their views from people that don't know, and that's upsetting. As a veteran, I don't like them. It's unnecessary, right? When you see someone succeed and people don't like when other people succeed, right? It's selfishness. If someone is doing well and did do well and you can vouch for them, by all means. But it's when they start going to the left and to the right that is just trying more and more what they can do to outdo the next person. Again, get the more likes than someone else. And competition is great if it's legitimate competition. So you're all tough, right? Just keep it real. Every job matters in all branches to make an effective fighting force. 100%. Jared says, I'd clean David Goggins' clock so that I missed the rest. I can't watch David Goggins personally, a little too much cursing for me. And I've heard there's some controversy about his stories as well. Again, I don't need the drama in my life. I don't need to look at it, figure it out. Rick says, I would love to join in the broadcast anytime, but depends on work. Glad I'm here. And I'm glad you're here too, Rick. Appreciate your support and your input, 100%. That's what it's all about. God bless you there, sir. Thank you for your service. And this is what we do. This is for us. This is for each other. It's a community of like-minded people, and keeping it real, right? Keep it real. Ra, Marine vet here. Anthony Barber, your favorite automatic rifle. I love the M4. Again, I'm a simple guy. I like the M16A2 because that's what the Marine Corps gave me. And then when we switched to the M4, fell in love with that so much I bought a few after I got out. Love the M4. You do believe David runs 40 miles a day is true? He runs 40 miles a day? I don't know.
Benito's hurt. Somebody hurt Benito.
What?
Somebody hurt Benito.
Love you. You definitely ain't serving America. Oh. Support your local veteran-owned business. Yes, Carl, pulling through. Veteran-owned business. Arian Hamza, cool shirt. Like and subscribe. Check out our, man, I haven't said it in so long, our myshopify.com, sfmfmerch.myshopify.com. Check it out. Shirts, stickers, hoodies, green monsters, lanyards. Check it out. David Goggins is full of crap, but there's also a lot of truth to him, but he grossly exaggerates things. Again, and why? Why would somebody do that? Zach, do you have any PTSD? Would you be willing to take LSD to fix your brain? I don't know if that's real, Zach. Is that what people do? Take LSD to fix your brain? But no, there's better ways to handle PTSD. 100%. Drug-free. I join the broadcast anytime. Thanks, Danny. Hanukkah, I'm back. Had to eat dinner. What'd you have? Some chicken and rice? I'm old. What's an M4? David Bryant. An M4 is a M16A2, like 2.0. It's same caliber, smaller rifle, smaller barrel, extendable, collapsible, buttstock, little lighter. Not that it matters, but you can get in and out of windows, doorways, in and out of vehicles. It's a smaller weapon with it. You don't need much. Iron sights or the RCO is the only optic I think that you need, and maybe a laser on there, but that's it. You don't need a bunch of other stuff on it. It's just it's smaller, compact, and it's accurate. It's good. We had A1s, M16 A1s in boot camp. We didn't get them issued to us. I'm an A2 guy, but then the M4s, I really do like them. Support your local VFWs and American Legions. Yes, Danny, as well. All your VSOs, Veterans Service Organizations, support them all. Menaka means psychedelics. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. It's, having dealt with PTSD, there's many other ways, drug-free. Young Marine Vincent says, even though I'm new to the Young Marines, I was very proud to help plant flags and lay wreaths on all the military graves of these heroes. Awesome. That is pretty humbling time. And I didn't have a chance to do it as a high schooler. Again, military was far from where I grew up, but seeing it now and having the opportunity now and guiding young Americans to do that type of stuff, that's very cool. That's awesome. Good to hear. Anthony Barber, what was your favorite training package? Mine was tossed between Raider package and being a K9 bomb dog handler. I always wanted to be a K9 handler. It didn't come around till later in my career, and you don't see too many first sergeants or sergeant majors as dog handlers, but I did miss that opportunity. I would have loved to. I like helo ops for something. So we're the helo raid platoon, raid company, and when I was a 2-5, I like helicopter operations. I really do. The boat company one time wasn't as cool, even though I'm a water guy. Training packages, love the cold weather training, the rock packages of Bridgeport. Loved it all. I love to swim with Quiz. Some great training. Marine Corps offers some awesome training. All the ranges in 29 Palms. Awesome. Danny, favorite part of boot camp was a pogo stick fighting. You mean pugil stick fighting? Yeah, that was fun. Used to have boxing in a full ring. They collapsed that to a small, tight ring when our fighting, our combat hits changed? Man,
Did you see Midwestern gentleman's comment?
I did not recently know what he say.
He said he served in Somalia, Kosovo, and OIF-1. Current court is not the same. What can be done to fix this?
Midwestern what?
Gentlemen?
Midwestern gentleman said he served in Desert Storm, Somalia,
Somalia, Kosovo,
Oh.
OIF-1.
Somalia, Kosovo, OIF-1. Are you still in? And the Corps has changed?
What can be done to fix this?
What can be
Court's
done?
not the same.
So I'm with you, gentlemen. Sorry. The Corps has changed. And I told myself growing up, even my wife and I talked about it, I didn't want to be one of those guys. Well, back in my day, the Corps was. But it certainly seems to be reigning true. I've seen some stuff and read about it and heard some stuff. My daughter's active duty right now. And some of the things that are changing are mind-boggling. And I would always tell myself the Corps would never allow that to happen. That's never going to change in the Corps. We're different. The Marines are different. Marines are different. We're not going to fall into the political correctness BS that does go on. We're Marines, right? We're the URAH. But it is changing. The whole woke and the DEI leadership, and it has changed, and it's hard to sit back and watch and not be able to do anything about it. And that's what happens when you get out. You can't change it from the outside. You can hope for the best and that there's still some era in there that's gonna fix it and get it back to where it needs to be. So thank God with our incoming administration, I think it's gonna get back to some of that era that we've been missing. All the branches of service. I think it's gonna start like day one. Things are going to definitely change. Is it going to get back to the way it used to be? We're talking decades and decades ago. I think we need to change with times and with technology. Right, talking about I think the first gunny is going to graduate for cybersecurity. I think that's going to happen soon. Hope that's not DEI, and I hope it's for all the right reasons. Excuse me, but I think there is some changes that are necessary. But it's when we start messing with the customs, courtesies, discipline, history, traditions, that's when we're going to go in a bad direction. And we already have, right? With the DEI, again, is it the right Marine for the job? I don't care what color, what race, what creed, what sexuality, none of that matters. Is it the best Marine for the job? Once we get back to that, we'll get back to where we used to be. So I hear you, and that's a good point, and I feel the same. Jared says it right there. Fighting force and political force are not the same thing. I agree. Is summer boot camp a good idea? I'm under 13 and I'm thinking about it. You got plenty of time to think about it, but I would prefer summer over winter 100%. We need to remember what makes the grass grow. Blood, Mara, Jared. Too many generals waiting to go that way. Yes.
And that's the problem too, is all those installed generals for the past 15, 20 years have finally risen to the top, and all those Vinmans and...
Yeah, all those installed generals, right? Not the ones that earned that position, colonels and generals, all those senior enlisted, all those ones that were installed for what reason? Time to drain the swamp, right? Clean that baby up. And it's going to take a little bit of time with our, again, incoming administration.
Yes, man.
No more yes men. Get them out of there, clean house. We need some Tom Holmans in the Marine Corps. That's what we need. And to get it done. And it's going to happen. Become a member of your local military advocacy group and let public servants know how you feel about what effect from the military and its leaderships. Yeah, respect. Expect what we expect. Yes, 100%. Somebody, have you ever served as a boot camp parade reviewing officer? I have not. Mike Smith. And I didn't even, the first enlisted guy I saw do that was recently. And he was a sergeant major who I think was a drill instructor of that company. Some history behind it, but I've never seen an enlisted as a reviewing officer for boot camp. That'd be pretty cool. Marine Corps title is earned, never given. Michael's Drones. How you been, buddy? I'm proud to be an 80s Marine. Me too. Ray, old Corps. Are 5-star generals stronger than the president? There is no more 5-star generals, blessed. That was World War II. Admiral Nimitz was, right? It was for a short period of time. But no, generals are not more powerful than the president. The president is the commander-in-chief. He's in charge of everybody. Now, he has military advisors, and if he's smart, he would listen to the good generals. No 5 stars, yeah, not anymore. The VA was great under Trump, was the best ever. I'm hoping to get back. Yeah, no, nothing yet. Oh, I didn't.
You want to?
No. Good, Michael Jones. Doing well. Finally went out for a run today. Got to take it easy because my heart. Take it easy. You can. Walking is just as good as running. And I would have never said that like 20 years ago, but a good brisk walk is good for you too. What is Benito talking about? Anything relevant? Taking a break from push-ups. Good. Yeah, walk as well. That's good for you too. All right. It's a good night. Always. Jared, I don't know about that. Way too young. Thank you. Thank you, Danny Vincent. Good hanging out with you. Young Marine Davis asks, Sergeant Major, what do you know about the Marine Corps Horse Cavalry Unit? Saw them on TV practicing for the Rose Parade. I don't know anything about them, just that I love watching them. That's good. Maybe we'll check into that. I'll find some info on it and do a short. Love those guys. Pretty awesome. Would love to see a horse-mounted color guard. In fact, where's El Jefe Holt? Him and I were talking about that the other day. How cool is that? The horse-mounted color guard. That's awesome. Danny says, I just don't know about what to do about losing this damn belly, and I do everything I can to eat right. It's got to be PT, Danny Vincent. It's got to be a mixture of both. Okay, and you can do it. You absolutely can. You have to be uncomfortable. You're going to be uncomfortable. Certain things, Google some different diets. Don't eat after 7 p.m. at night, for starters. Try that. Drink water instead of eating. As many crunches is an exercise you can do every day without overworking your muscles. So do them every single day and switch it up from crunch to plank to side bars. Get a broomstick and just anything. You just have to continuously move them abs. And then eating right or eating clean, and then portion control. I'm telling you, you can absolutely 100% lose that belly. How bad do you want to lose it? Again, you're gonna be uncomfortable, but you have to go for it. Is that thing gonna buzz? So we can help, right? We'll help hold you accountable. Let us know what you're going to do, and we're gonna ask you about it. We're gonna call you out on it. Get on the scale January 1st, and then don't get on a scale again until February 1st. Don't watch it every single day. Right? You'll know you're losing weight when your clothes start to fit different, right? We don't alter our clothing, we alter our body. Who said that? I didn't make that up. Somebody on here said that when we were talking about your uniform shrinks.
Try it. Try it for 30
Meat,
days.
fish, bacon, and butter. What is it?
Bacon, butter, and eggs.
Beef,
No,
bacon,
beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. That's a carnivore diet. Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. All those sound good. Okay. Carbs. You got to stay away from the carbs, stay away from the sugar. All right. But you absolutely can do it. Again, how bad do you want it? That's really what you have to get through. It's mental. Just as much as I'm telling you, bodybuilding, weight loss, gaining weight, losing weight, the PT is a big part of it, but it's not as big as the diet and your exercise. I'm telling you, you combine the two and have it be front of mind, not back of mind. You're going to have times where you get hungry. You're going to want to binge eat. Don't do it. Discipline. Got to have the discipline. All right, Jared. Yes, you have a safe New Year's. Don't let alcohol write checks your butt can't cash. Great tip. Hammer. Hoorah. Diet is so bad for your heart. Yeah, don't diet. Oh, carnivore diet is bad for your heart. I don't know enough about that. Portion control. Protein, less carbs, less sugar. All right. Happy belated Christmas. Happy New Year. Jared Hammond. Good to see you, brother. All right. Last question from the Poolee. She's scheduled to take my ASVAB mid-January. Any help you can give me to pass? ASVAB for dummies. Any ASVAB study guide you can possibly get. Take it as many times as you can. But study, right? I took the ASVAB without studying, scored okay. Studied for only 2 weeks and improved my score. So definitely study. Take the ASVAB study test. All right. May think you're going to starve to death. It feels like that sometimes, but portion control. Eat about 6 smaller meals a day instead of 3 big meals. Eat small meals, right? Just never be hungry. That's the key. Once you're hungry, that's when you binge eat, right? And that's when you eat too much and get that uncomfortably full. That's how you need to get if you want to gain weight, being uncomfortably full, finishing your plate. Don't be one of those people that has to finish everything on your plate. That's what I like to do. But don't. Excuse me. Salmon is good for you. What's the best special forces? We kind of talked about special forces early on. They're all badasses. Become a United States Marine. URAH. All right. Special thanks to you, Randall, Menachem, Heavy J, Stockton, Ray from Queens, Doc Holiday. A whole big list of all of you. Appreciate everyone. We think this is the last show of the year. Just might be. New Year's is Wednesday, right? New Year's Day? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Today is Sunday. So God bless you all. Hope you all have had a great year. Next year is going to be even better. Keep hanging out with us. We're traveling. We're leaving tomorrow morning early, 0:30, and we'll get back online as soon as we possibly can. But we hope and pray that all of you have a very safe, but a very blessed and aggressive New Year's celebration. Seriously, have fun, be safe. Hopefully you'll be surrounded on the first by the ones you love. And let's kick 25 in the butt. Let's get after it. God bless you all. Semper Fi, my friends. URAH.